Welcome to episode 1301 of the Inspired Stewardship Podcast.
Hi, I'm Alan Hunkins, author of Cracking the Leadership Code. I challenge you to invest in yourself, invest in others, develop your influence, and impact the world by using your time, your talent, and your treasures to live out your calling. Having the ability to lead well is key, and one way to be inspired to do that is to listen to this, the Inspired Stewardship Podcast with my friend, Scott Mader.
That sometimes is enough. That answer to God of, I'm not sure where you want me to go, but I'll go. I'll go because you called me and told me to go. I'll go not because I'm comfortable, not because I'm certain, not because I'm sure, but I'll go because I'm called.
Welcome and thank you for joining us on the Inspired Stewardship Podcast. If you truly desire to become the person who God wants you to be, then you must learn to use your time, your talent, and your treasures for your true calling. In the Inspired Stewardship Podcast, you will learn to invest in yourself, invest in others, and develop your influence so that you can impact the world.
In today's Spiritual Foundation episode, I talk about Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 4. I share how we want certainty in our life, and I also talk with you about how instead we need to go. Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 4 says, Now the Lord said to Abram, Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you, and make your name great, so that you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and the one who curses you I will curse, and all the families of the earth shall be blessed. So Abram went, and as the Lord had told him, and Lot with him. So this passage from Genesis, it begins the story of the patriarch that we call Abraham. Of course, at this time, he's not yet Abraham, he's just Abram, the son of Terah, who just died in Haran, which wasn't really home for him at all. See, Terah was from Ur, which was further to the south and east, was in the area that nowadays would be part of. And here he is a long way from that home, but yet it was a new home for him. But this home is one where here in this passage, we hear Abram being asked to leave. He was asked to continue on and finish a journey that his father had started. See, in chapter 11, verse 31, it says that Terah set off for Canaan, but only made it so far as Haran. I kind of know what that's like. I think most of us do. This feeling of having a dream or having a destination in mind, knowing where we're going, knowing that there were things that we wanted to accomplish. There were worlds that we wanted to conquer. There were activities that we wanted to do, whatever it is. But somewhere along the way, we just settle where we're at. We maybe didn't accomplish all that we had imagined, but you've done well. You did okay. Didn't conquer all of the mountains that you wanted to climb, but you've made a home for you and your family, and it's comfortable, and that's good enough. And what seemed so clear and so compelling when you started on that mission, on that journey years ago, feels like a dream that you begin to lose when you wake up. You remember that it was intense, it was wonderful, it was something that you were really excited by, but the details slip away. I wonder if Abram had sat around the campfire with his father and heard stories from his father of how he was trying to set off for this destination, how he had this dream of a place that he wanted to go, and did that lure of that dream work its way into Abram's soul. Genesis 12 starts and says, God called. But what was the sound of that call? Was that a chance for Abram to hear the audible voice of God? Was it booming like thunder? Was there a dream that was planted in his head that just refused to go away? Or did God sound like his father, speaking to him of the dream of going to Canaan? But the real truth is, I think in that moment, the question that many of us would ask is, how do you know? How do you know that this dream, this message is from God and not just the secret desires of your own? After all, that's the truth. We want to know. We want to be certain. We want to be certain that this is of God. And when you read the Bible, they always sound so certain, right? They seem to know the direction that they're going. They seem to know what they're supposed to do. They seem to have certainty around it. Or do they? Listen again. Go from your country and your kindred and your father's house to the land that I will show you. Does that really sound like certainty? Does it sound like clarity? I will show you. All that was said was, go from your country. Go. And there's lots being left behind. And I'll talk to you about that much more than I'm talking to you about the destination. To the land I will show you, not the land that I have shown you, not the land that I am showing you, not the land that I've written out these very clear directions and there's a map with a line and a GPS showing where you'll end up. Instead, God isn't really asking for certainty. We don't have what Abram's inner dialogue was. We don't have the questions he had to have asked. We don't have what was going on in his head and his heart. All we have is his response, his action. So Abram went. That's it. He went and he believed. He went because the Lord had told him. And actually, if you read forward a few verses, you'll see his uncertainty gets him in trouble. He took some wrong steps just as surely as he took some right steps, but he went. And that was what God wanted. God doesn't want us to wait until we're certain. God doesn't want us to figure out all of the steps first. He doesn't want us to have a clear map all the time and a chart of our course. Sometimes he just wants us to move. And we ask, where do you want me to move? And somewhere the answer sometimes is just somewhere else, anywhere. You don't know everything, but you know some things. You know that you're asked to serve God in justice, to love mercy, to walk humbly. We know that we're to be peacemakers. We know that we're to serve the least of those and do to them as if we would do to Jesus. And maybe that's the start. Maybe that's the beginning of the life that God is asking us to build. And along the way comes blessings, not just at the destination, not just at the end of the journey, but there's blessings in the act of following. There's blessings in the movement itself. That sometimes is enough. That answer to God of, I'm not sure where you want me to go, but I'll go. I'll go because you've called me and told me to go. I'll go not because I'm comfortable, not because I'm certain, not because I'm sure, but I'll go because I'm called. Thanks for listening.
Thanks so much for listening to the Inspired Stewardship podcast. As a subscriber and listener, we challenge you to not just sit back and passively listen, but act on what you've heard and find a way to live your calling. If you enjoyed this episode, do me a favor. Go over to facebook.com/inspired stewardship and like our Facebook page and mark it that you'd like to get notifications from us so that we can connect with you on Facebook and make sure that we're serving you to the best of our abilities with time and tips there. Until next time, invest your time, your talent, and your treasures. Develop your influence and impact the world.